Hey church family, we appreciate how well received our first MythBusters episode was. And for that, we thank you with episode number 2. Our myth comes from one of our members, Sally, and she writes, "Dear MythBusters team, my family and I have been coming to TLC for just over a year now. We really want to get more involved, but honestly, Treasure Lake Church just seems so together. Seriously though, if ever a church had all its ducks in a row, it's Treasure Lake Church. How could my family offer any contribution that could compare with TLC's vast resources?" Treasure Lake Church doesn't need my help. Our church certainly puts its best foot forward in creating curbside appeal. In fact, our church's location and physical presentation can create an atmosphere that seems to say Treasure Lake Church is doing just fine. Although we are located within the confines of a well-established gated community, Treasure Lake Church operates no different than any other church. Our financial resources are solely based on the generosity of its members. But when you get down to the brass tacks, Treasure Lake Church runs on the blood, sweat, and tears of joy from our volunteers. Good afternoon, Treasure Lake Church. This is Brittany. How may I help you? Oh, so you'd like to volunteer? Okay, great. One moment, please. Hi. Yeah, I think we can definitely find a place for you. What are you interested in? From weekend church services to grand events like our daddy-daughter dance, none of these things could happen if it weren't for you. Carefully listing all of our current volunteer needs illustrates just how short we would fall without your help. In making this episode of TLC MythBusters, one thing becomes as clear as unmuddied water. Volunteers are the life force of Treasure Lake Church. So is it true? Treasure Lake Church doesn't need my help? Myth! It's always fun to put a good myth to bed. Now let's move on to what's happening in the TLC community. Do you play pickleball? Would you like to? Monday evenings are pickleball, and that starts on the 21st. At 5 p.m., join in on the fun in the gym. Be part of the sport that is taking our nation by storm. Do you have a heart to help those in need? Our blood drive takes place on Tuesday, February 15th from 1 to 7 p.m. By donating, you will be blessing someone in great need right here in our community. It's time to save the date, and this is one that we've been waiting for.
If 2022 is going to be incredible because we need hope. We are going to talk about how we live in this world right now, how we navigate a culture that feels very different than the Bible and the one that Jesus laid out for us. How do we build community in the middle of this? How do we tell people about Jesus? There's a reason we're still alive. There's a reason we're still here. And that our lives matter in this time. We're not going to waste our moment. And so we come together to remember we're part of something big, but we also come together to remember we're part of something small. The reason we do If Gathering the way we do is we want you in your place, gathered with your people. We want you in living rooms and small churches and college dorm rooms all over this planet. You with your people builds the kingdom. If Gathering 2022, come be a part.
The If Gathering is a time when women from many churches in our area gather to seek and worship the Lord. It's time to save the date. That's March 4th and 5th, and it's going to be great. Finally, Get Fed happens this Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Join the group looking into the topic of your choice. the Book of Revelation in the Fellowship Hall, evidence for our faith in the sanctuary, men living courageously at Pastor Dick's home, youth group in the gymnasium, and music lessons downstairs. These are more than studies or activities. These are occasions to develop our community here at TLC. And finally, a word from my heart to yours. Let not your heart be troubled. Sure, Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow this week. And sure, that means 6 more weeks of winter. But consider this. We get to do these weeks together, and together we will explore God's blessings. I think we'll make it through winter just fine.